Hello, I am the Show Pal Guy, and today I will be explaining to you on why people are quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! Through a PowerPoint presentation. Let's go. So, what are the reasons? Well, number one is age, number two would be hustle culture, and number three would be overwhelming gameplay. I'll be explaining each of these in detail here, but first off, I'm getting this thing straight from MUT, and that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are old. And when I say old, I mean the large majority of good Yu-Gi-Oh! Players out there happen to be in their early to mid 30s. Alright, then I get people are saying that 30 is the new 20, but let's be honest here, a lot of the top players in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are in their 30s. Very few of them, like Ryan Wu over here actually, he is in his 20s. But for the most part, for the very most part, the younger good players are in their late 20s, but most of them are in their early to mid 30s, which leads to this over here, and that as you get older, priorities change with age. When you're in your 30s, you feel like you're on a clock, so time is a wee bit more important to you. If you're going to dedicate time into something, it better be well worth it. Another thing also is that when you get to that third range age here, and you'll notice that some of these people here happen to be family men. Some of these people happen to be married, some of them happen to have kids, some of them happen to have a lot more focus in their personal relationships, whether it be with friends or family members here. So as you get older, you begin to prioritize your personal relationships a lot more, which means focusing more time with them. As you get older, you are striving to go search for more ways to go earn money. And this is very heavily pushed upon, especially by for even teens or 17, 18 years old, but it's really catching up to people, especially in their 30s, that we're all trying to go find some way to go earn money here, and this goes towards number two in hustle culture, but also there are new interests involved, and there also is a more focus on mental and physical health. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very stressful game, and I'll talk about myself briefly as I explain this when it comes to new interests and the focus on health. And so, on top of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I also heavily play College Football 25. This game has been totally awesome. I've put in no more than 28 hours into this game here. We have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, which is a JRPG game. Kind of a JRPG strategy game, story visual novel game. I put in at this point here 19 hours into that game. Tekken 8, no more than 63 hours into that game. And then you have Pokemon Unite, which is over 100 hours of game time being put into all these games here. And I keep mentioning the hours in here. It's because if I'm not playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'm doing something else. There are other games that exist outside of Yu-Gi-Oh! There is the game Elden Ring. There's a new Call of Duty game. There's a new sports game out there that just came out. There are plenty of good games coming out every single year, and you want to dedicate your time to them. I want to put more games on this list, but I can't really fit everything on this. I just replayed Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3, which is a 100-hour RPG game, and so knowing that, it's I have two options here. I can either continue playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that I've been playing for many years at this point, or I can go and just take a sidestep and play something else that's very fun, or something I'm very excited about. And I have no regrets playing these other games instead of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there's more to just gaming than just playing one card game the whole time. And on top of playing all those games and me learning how to go and play Yu-Gi-Oh! And become a better duelist and trying to go and compete more in tournaments, I'm also trying to catch up in all my anime. From Konosuba, a new season came out. I watched that season and I spent hours watching that and talking over my friends about that season, which I could have instead, developed my game as Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I would spend nights watching Konosuba or watching anime or spending time playing these games with other people instead of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then on top of my interaction with my friends online and catching up in anime and playing other video games, right? I work a regular 9-to-5 job. I'm a salary man. The large majority of people here, they try to attempt to monetize their hobby. They can't, and so they end up just working their regular job because I love my job. I love my job. There are people who are very passionate about their careers, and I respect that, but I'm also thinking of that. But on top of my job, and on top of hanging out with my friends online, and on top of watching and keeping up with my anime and playing other video games, I'm also spending a lot of time doing church activities and spending time with my IRL friends. Okay, then there's a lot of things happening that I can't dedicate everything in my whole brain power to be focused directly on just Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, then these people here, they focus a whole lot of their time onto Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's so much time you can put into your brain for Yu-Gi-Oh that you just gotta go step back and you gotta do something else here. Their entire life, some of them, they don't dedicate their whole life into just playing competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. They got other stuff going on here. I got anime, I got video games, I got my work career, and then also I got my like community stuff that I usually do. And then I go towards number 2 over here, and that is hustle culture. And so I put Mr. Beast and Logan Paul over here because they're pretty much the poster boys of hustle culture. As in, these are 2 people who are able to go, and along with like XQC and Ludwig and Penguins, or even some like Jack Doherty, they're able to go and monetize or find ways to go earn money in a non-traditional way that 99.9% people don't do, and they're able to go make money off their interests. So there's a heavy focus on finding ways to go make money when it comes to hustle culture. Also in hustle culture, you are monetizing your hobbies. You monetize your hobbies through being a streamer, through a content creator, through being a pro gamer, even through podcasting. People are finding ways to, where like them just talking with their friends, they're finding ways to go learn how to go make money off that. And because people in their 30s especially, and you gotta remember this part here, you feel like you're in a clock, so time is more important to you. Time is money, which used to be a thing that's only directed specifically towards people who want to start a business. But now since everybody can start their own business due to the digital age here, everybody's attempting to go monetize their hobbies here. You can now make money playing video games. You can now make money talking about anime. You can now make money talking about how bad or good an anime is. You can go make money simply streaming yourself, working your job. There are many ways to go make money through your hobby. And I want to talk about the model Yu-Gi-Oh hustlers out there. So we have Farfa over here. They have MBT and Disencoder. So while the large majority of people out there, 99.9% of people out there, attempt to monetize their hobby, don't do so, and they just have a regular career, these 3 over here specifically, they make about 10K to 20K, $10,000 to $20,000 a month, simply streaming and talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! They have their own merchandise through Twitch, through YouTube, through Patreon. These guys are making 10K to 20K, sometimes even way more money than that per month, simply talking about and playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the irony about this is that, are they even good players? No, not really. They're average skilled duelists. They're average skilled duelists that if you brought them to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, they're gonna go and just break even. They're not really gonna do all that well here. MBT attempted to do so, but he failed at it. But these 3 are fixtures of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community here, despite their lack of high level play, because they are so prevalent in like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community's like search engine here, where you'll always see at least one of their faces whenever you go scroll through YouTube within the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. You're gonna find these 3 some way somehow. We then try to go past that. While those 3 are average duelists, these 3 over here are 3 incredibly good duelists here. We've got world champions, we got YCS champions, we got regional champions over here, we have a UDS winner. These 3 are pound for pound the best duelists in the West, in all of like America and in Europe. With just got here being Canadian. These are the duelists who, through like the fame and the glory of doing really well in tournaments, they're able to go pivot that and they become content creators / streamers. And this leads to another question I do have with you guys, and that's this: do you need to monetize your hobby? Do you want to financially be incentivized to play? And that is, and I bring up Splinterlands over here, and because Splinterlands is a game, it's a digital like online NFT like crypto game that was made, was meant to compete with Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, in the sense that if you play this game, you have the ability to earn money. So if you play Splinterlands and you do really good at a tournament, you can win $500,000, you can make 300K, you can make, you know, a couple $100, you can make $40 on the side over here. Splinterlands is a play to earn game, and it's also a pay to earn game also, because you got to go spend money to go get the good cards and then use the good cards to go compete in tournaments, to which then you can go and win money. And that is something that these players kind of want to do, right? Like, you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you want to go make a lot of money off it, right? I mean, like, Pokemon players are doing this, Fortnite players are doing this, fighting game players, whether it be Street Fighter or Tekken, Dragon Ball fighters. We have people out there being good at certain things, and they're able to go and make money off it. Now, these 3 have done it, these 3 have done it, and then Splinterlands pushes it a little bit more, but if you guys don't know the story of Splinterlands, it ended up failing badly because the focus no longer became, hey, let's go make a fun, digital card game. The focus was a lot more on, you're doing this so you can go and earn money. Like, Splinterlands is what I think a lot of people are afraid of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's why there's a lot of setback on why they don't want Yu-Gi-Oh! To like have greater incentives when it comes to the prize money. It's because with Splinterlands, it attracted a lot of like crypto bros and NFT dudes, or people who are purely joining, not because they enjoy the gameplay, not because they want to be part of the community, but purely because they want to go in and they want to make money. That's like their number one goal here. And then we go towards overwhelming gameplay. So this is from Tearlaments, which is like one of the fan favorite decks of like a lot of competitive players and community members liked. The gameplay is incredibly overwhelming and needlessly confusing, and if you show this to a casual player or even to like a low tier like rogue player, this is what turns them off in the game here. What a lot of competitive players like are complete turnoffs for casual players. And so I put here stuff that Yu-Gi-Oh players care about that casuals don't give AF about. So, what we care about here in the Yu community, we care about complaining about Maxi, we care about complaining about floodgates like Dimension Shifter and Drone Lockberg, we care about talking about the ban list, which cards should be unlimited, which cards should be limited, we like talking about the format, we like talking about the meta. This is stuff that we care about as like Yu-Gi-Oh players. However, stuff that casuals care about, because casuals don't care about any of this stuff here. They don't. If you tell them Dimension Shifter or Drone Lockbird and why they're bad for the game, they don't care. They don't. Like if you bring up how like if you explain the puppet lock to a casual player or to an outsider of Yu-Gi-Oh, they don't care. What they care about is they care about the anime, they care about nostalgia, they care about accessibility of the game here. They want to know if they can go and like play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, have fun with it, and they don't need to spend $100 to go enjoy it. And also they want to have an understanding of the game rules. And here's an issue that both sides of the community have a problem with, and it's that like it used to be a thing, or it still kind of is a thing, where a casual player like Ron or Ackman will try to get into regular competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And it leads to issues of gatekeeping, where they're going to complain about hand traps, or they're going to complain about, the game speed being a little bit too much. They'll explain about power creep, they'll keep talking about how power creep is a bad thing. And then the top players from the Yu community, or like major important members of the community, are gonna gatekeep, and they're gonna be like, well, that's because you're a Yu-Gi boomer and you're bad. Like, calling somebody a Yu-Gi boomer is considered an insult. And why is that? Why is calling somebody a Yu-Gi boomer considered an insult? It's just somebody who enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh early on as a kid, and now they want to go get into it as an adult, and instead of being like, yeah man, come right in, we're just gonna tell them like, hey man, you're a Yu-Gi boomer. The game is so much more different than what it was back then, man. Like, what the heck? You don't understand pendulum summoning? You don't understand hand traps? You don't understand about consistency? How do you not know that actually? OMG, you're gonna bring Blue Eyes Sword tournaments? What is wrong with you? OMG, you like toon monsters? Ha, that's crazy. Like, gatekeeping is an issue in Yu-Gi-Oh! And we don't talk about it that much because what we care about is completely different from what they care about. And because of this, we cannot bring players who are in their 20s into the game. A lot of people in their 30s, I think, failed or struggled to go bring in younger players. And I put this in here specifically that older duelists need to do better. We need to reach out more to younger duelists, and we need to stop preaching to the choir. I feel like the Yu community at times is kind of an echo chamber, where it's like you are within the domain of like the sphere of the Ruxins, of the MBTs, of the Farfas out there. It's like its own tight niche group here. Even like Team Sam or Team APS, like if you follow one of those guys, you follow everyone else, and they all talk within an echo chamber of one another, and they don't really try to put that much effort into getting people outside the game into it. Team Sam does, Duologs does, Farfa at times does, but for the most part, they really don't. There should be more self-control here. I really believe so here. So there are Yu-Gi-Oh players who are quitting the game, and there are a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players who often complain, and they always like, Konami needs to do better, and we gotta go and show them with our wallets or show them with our intentions. But that's not gonna happen here. Like, we have MBT complaining about how he's gonna quit the game of Yu-Gi-Oh basically every single year. We have Yu-Gi tubers like Farfa, or people even online, are saying that I'm gonna quit Yu-Gi-Oh for real this time every single year, and then they end up going back playing the game. like, more self-control here. Like, the people who made Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami, they don't really care or take seriously the opinions of, like, TCG players specifically, because all TCG players happen to be complete hypocrites. They happen to, like, like, if MBT, like, here's the thing, it's it, or I'll put over here. If these three people truly do care about the Yu community and you want to see it grow and you want to point it to Konami, hey, here are all the flaws of the game here, let's do our best to improve the game here. If they really care, they would quit playing the game and they would quit making content. But they're not going to do that. Why are they not going to do that? Because they make 10K to 20K a month here. They are part of the 0.001% out there. They're part of the 0.001%. So here's the thing. Why are people quitting playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Because of age. The older you get here, your priorities change. Hustle culture, there's more of an emphasis for people to go out there and to try to go earn money. You can't really earn that much money off Yu-Gi-Oh! Unless you're a part of the 0.01%. And the overwhelming gameplay, which has pissed off both casual players and competitive players. And there's no, like, line between that. Even if the competitive players get everything they want, it's still going to be a major pushback on casual players. And if casual players get everything they want, the competitive players will also be upset here. So in the end, Konami has to go create a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that somehow can appeal to everyone, that somehow appeals to people who like Floodgates, who somehow appeals to people who like combo decks, who also making a game that somehow appeals to budget players, and that's incredibly difficult to do. So why are people quitting Yu-Gi-Oh? It's because of a plethora of things, but these are 3 things here: age, hustle culture, and the overwhelming gameplay. I'm going to continue to go play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I love playing the game here, and I'm doing well enough for myself financially, and I'm doing well for myself in terms of my handling of my own time and how I handle my 16 hours in the day to go, and I can dedicate some time to Yu-Gi-Oh! Am I dedicating time to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I was in my like early to mid 20s? No, 100% not. But am I doing a good time? Am I doing a good job in terms of dedicating some time to the game? Most definitely. And that's the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just a hobby. It is a hobby. You don't have to put your entire life into this game, and if you wish to do so, this isn't the game for you. And if you're the type of person who wants to go make money just by doing everything and anything through their hobby, then that's all up on you. You can do it somewhere else. You can do it in any other TCG game here, but I do not want Yu-Gi-Oh! To end up like Splinterlands. I do not want Yu-Gi-Oh! To invite some bad apples into the community. The community already has some bad apples. We don't need any more. So that's my opinion over there, actually. And thank you for watching. Feel free to hit like and subscribe if you want to. You thought if you want to do something really cool if you did. I'm the Show Pal Guy, signing off for now. See ya.